A lot of tourism businesses get the social side confused with the Google side. Google is answering questions, right? So Google, you go to Google, you tap in a question, Google answers it. It's very simple and straightforward. The social side, people are there to be social. They're not there to be sold to, and they're not there to be interrupted, really. Therefore, if you are going to interrupt them, and that's what you're doing, you better make sure you're doing it in a targeted way that what you're interrupting them with actually aligns with them. Otherwise, it's all going to go horribly wrong. Now, there's a huge audience on Twitter that is very random. They're not there all the time by any means. Your reach on Twitter, even with big followings, is tiny. Therefore, if you're going to treat it seriously, you're going to have to be there a lot of the time. Because even with big accounts with hundreds of thousands of followers, they're only going to reach 1% or less without going down the paid route. Therefore, they have to be there constantly. A lot of tourism businesses don't appreciate how long the long game is. The long game isn't a long game, it's a never-ending game. It does not stop, it's every day, and if you don't do it every day, you fall off a cliff.
And you've seen that in practice.
We've tested it. It's not the same as Google, where you can do X amount of work in Google and you will get a result for X number of years or months if you're in a very competitive area. In the social, you do work every day, and if you don't, you won't see the results. We've found through trial and experience and failing that we don't waste any time measuring anything on a daily basis that we're just staying in contact with our audience. But the minute we go into campaign mode, we measure that in detail. So we're drip feeding constantly through the channels we choose to work with, and then the minute we launch a campaign, it's a coordinated campaign across all channels, not just it's websites involved, socials involved, offline's involved. And then we have metrics set up on how we measure that, so we can say where the customers are coming from, where the revenue's coming from, and then from that you can decide how much time, effort and money that you're going to spend on your different channels.
To kind of touch on the measurement part, you can use things such as Bitly, etc. to measure kind of your outputs. Bitly is a link shortener. So if your part of your campaign is kind of content marketing with blogs, then you can be using software such as Bitly to measure how many people are actually clicking through. So it's been savvy and smart about just measuring. Obviously you've got to constantly measure what your kind of return is, but at the same time it's kind of, in my experience, 80-20 is 80 soft social and 20 kind of hard measurement. But Bitly, Twitter analytics, and even your Hootsuite analytics as well are all great starting points to measure.
The first thing any girl does when she gets engaged is tell all her friends via social that she's engaged. So on Twitter she tells them engaged, so therefore we've got a stream of engaged, so we know everybody who's telling, and it's a lot every day. Therefore anybody that's in the wedding business, wedding photography business, stag business, hen party business, venue hire, etc., there is a ready stream of leads coming in. The minute that lady's, after she's engaged, she's starting to think about the things she needs for the wedding, therefore she starts asking questions. You start answering them questions, you build up a rapport, that's the engagement.
And that's how you get them. And then you convert them once you've got them.
The business page, I would suggest for any tourism business, is definitely the way they have to go initially, because that is your shop window on the high street of Facebook. The Facebook's a very big high street, so your shop window is going to be incredibly tiny. Therefore, it comes back to what we were talking about earlier. You need to understand who your customer is, because your customer is on Facebook. Fact.
And as you say, knowing your customer, there's no better way to find out about them than using Facebook, because there's so much information on there. Dane, there's different ways you can do that, isn't there? You can use Insights in the first instance, can't you?
Yeah. So Insights tab on your Facebook page, so people and kind of location are the main things you'll be looking at there. So people and post are the two sections you'll be looking at. So you get an idea, a demographic of who's visiting your page, and also just kind of breaking it down where they're from, etc. So they're the two main part in your insights you should be keeping an eye on, definitely. Just to quickly touch on something great you said there about the Facebook page and groups, I would say to summarise with that, like, think of your Facebook page as being like your shop window, and your groups as being like the one-to-one shopping experience. Like, that's what I would sum it up as. And it's interesting with the group side, because you've got to have a strong, compelling reason for people to join the group, and also you've got to have some kind of like ball game rules around what it is that people are looking for to get from the group and what to achieve, because you can easily overload people in groups and you can easily put
Then
people
leave.
off. Yeah, quality is definitely, it trumps quantity over. I mean, think it as kind of like a pond and a sea example. You're better for your business to have a smaller pond for biting fish than having a sea with just loads of people that you don't know whether
That
they're
aren't really
interacting or not.
And in terms of the content, it's better that it's a higher quality than you're just getting any old posts out.
Absolutely.
I think that's possibly what Tim was asking about there. And Peter, I don't know if you have an off season.
No, we do. Winter is a very painful off season
So
for us.
how do you keep up engagement during those months?
So you always have to be thinking the long game. You're not in business for a year, you're in business for decades.
Yeah.
Right? People are sitting in Scotland in the winter, in the dark, in the cold, feeling pretty miserable, and what are they looking forward to? The lighter nights, the summer, the things that are coming. They plan, and they may not do in the winter a lot of the things that the tourism industry provides, but they plan.
Yeah.
So therefore you're in inspirational mode during the winter, maybe campaign mode, but you're selling forward, you're not selling for that day.